Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's Carlos Hernandez, aka your favorite YouTuber, and we're back again with another video of another hot topic that's gonna be announcing some big news this week. And you guessed it, we're gonna be talking about Lucid Motors, which aka will be acquired via SPAC. And if you don't know what a SPAC is, I recommend you go look it up. But what it is a special purpose acquisition company. And all the SPAC really is that it's just a company that enables the buying of a bigger company, or it's just a fund that someone has made that's acquired a bunch of capital. Like in this case, we're going to be going over how much it is, and it's within the billions of dollars. And through all that money, they can acquire certain companies. Sometimes it's mentioned what kind of company they're going to acquire, whether it's going to be in like a specific sector, whether it's like the financial, or in this case, what we're going to be talking about is the EV sector, the electric vehicle sector. And for what we're going to be talking about, and I'm sure you guys already know what it is, it's going to be CCIV, which is Churchill Capital. And if you don't know, Churchill Capital is that SPAC that I was talking about earlier. And through Churchill Capital, they're going to be acquiring a big company that really hasn't done much at all, but it has all this hype around it because it is that EV stock, and examples of the hype that's been around it. And, you know, the possible profit and possible, gains, those tendies that can happen in the future. What happened with Tesla, for instance. You also have NIO, you have Plug, you have the funny Nikola, which kind of just crashed.
Bruh. Look at this dude. Wait till you see the... No.
And all that hype has explained why CCIV, which I'm going to show up here on the screen, the price of it, which is currently I'm looking at right now, $52.94, which has come down a little bit from its previous week high of around $62. All this hype, news, rumors, it's more rumors than news, to be honest, because it's not been confirmed, but it's rumors that it will be confirmed soon, that CCIV, which is Churchill Capital, will acquire Lucid Motors. So we're gonna dive deep into what is happening, what we know so far as like people have reported throughout the news, my opinions on it, and what I'm possibly gonna be doing this week with all this information. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna get into it, and I hope you guys have a blessed day too. So we'll get straight into the video. Peace. Here we go. So as we can see on my screen, we're seeing that Lucid Motors reportedly is close to going public via that SPAC, that special acquisition company. And that's been a hot topic recently because a lot of companies have been acquired, bought out, and kind of saved via these SPACs. I know that SPACs can be a very interesting, a very speculative investment, but investors recently, now since everyone, your grandma's investing, your dog's investing, your doctor's investing, your doctor's asking you, are you on Wall Street bets? All this speculative investing and all these retail investors kind of are just going towards these more riskier stocks. And that's kind of forcing a big upward movement and a big upward trend throughout these big speculative stocks. Example of those are like GameStop, AMC, and now we're seeing like wheat stocks as another example. And now we're seeing Lucid Motors, which can be acquired via the SPAC route, and a lot of people are speculating that it will happen. And a quote that I've been trying to use, especially in my investing life, is this: trust none of what you hear and only half of what you see. I think that's a very great piece of advice because, people will always say, oh, did you hear this company's going to do this? Did you hear that Lucid Motors is going to go to X SPAC or whatever, right? Unless we actually see the paper documentation saying, hey, this is the deal, this is exactly what's going to be, this is the valuation of the company, the shares will be priced at this, then this is all pure speculation. And that's something that I think new investors can take, and even more experienced investors, they tend to forget the importance of actually having the deal come to fruition rather than just, oh, this is like a pipe dream. Or another term that I've learned recently, which is called a castle in the air, where we're like, oh my god, this is going to be the biggest thing. And that could possibly be the case with Lucid Motors and this SPAC deal or whatever. But this is all pure speculation. Even what I'm doing is pure speculation, so just be wary of those things. But going back to Lucid Motors and the possible SPAC with Churchill Capital, this article that I found, and a lot of articles are covering this as of just this whole week because that's why it caused the stock to go up. The Lucid Motors, the EV startup, is close to a deal to go public through a merger with a blank check company started by banker Michael Klein. Whatever, that's fine. Michael Klein is the founder of CCIV. He heads that SPAC, and that's how they're going to acquire Lucid Motors. Even this article is saying, and a bunch of articles are following this all throughout this week, and even now we're seeing that a deal could be announced on Tuesday. The keyword here is could, because this is not for certain. Like I said, none of this is certain. This is all speculation. So grain of salt, you know? Continuing to read on from the specific article, it says that the money that was potentially raised is between $1 billion to $1.5 million. Dude, $1 billion, it's not 100 million, it's not 500 million, it's literally $1 billion to $1.5 billion. That's an insane amount of money. Like, that's a lot of money. And if you didn't know, let me pull this up right here. See, I'm already planned, I have it up here. Saudi Arabia, the country, right? These people, the oil money rich people, right? They own half of Lucid Motors. They put in, I think you can see the number right here. They put in about $1.3 billion into Lucid Motors because, you know, they obviously see a future with it. They see potential, and they might have a little bit of EV fever as well. But this startup has drawn so much attention. And keep in mind, this article was made last year, and a lot of people haven't seen this. I'm sure last year it became a hot topic, but as of now, people don't really know this, and especially the new investors that are just like seeing, oh, Lucid Motors, yeah, they don't have all the facts. And if Saudi Arabia is willing to put their own money into it, like 1.3 billion with a B, billion dollars, you know, this potentially can be a big thing. It's not for sure going to win, or it's not for sure going to print money or anything like that, but it definitely is worth looking at least. And that's why I'm making this video for you guys, so you guys don't have to do this research. And it's funny that I just mentioned that, because moving on in the article, it says Klein, which heads CCIV, which heads the SPAC. One thing I want to add before we move on to, you know, what actually is Lucid, how does their product work, what is their product, how does their website work, how is it presented, all that good stuff. One of the last things that this article does mention is that the SPACs have dominated IPOs this year, like 2020 to entry 2021. And they even mentioned that it's accounted for 63% of almost 77 billion raised on US exchanges by Bloomberg. I mean, Bloomberg's a very reliable source, right? That just shows you how big the SPAC thing has become. It's always been a thing, and it's funny because I think in the 80s, this used to be like a really big thing, and then a bubble happened, and then it all came crashing down. But SPACs have regained that new energy, and that's become the next big thing. And that being combined with these EV companies, that is becoming the next hottest topic on Wall Street, where everyone wants the EV thing. And, you know, moving into the future with Joe Biden and, you know, the Green Deal, all that good stuff, CCIV can definitely be a very good long-term play, and also a possible scalp or swing day trade, because you could also just buy the rumor, sell the news, and, you know, that might not play out the best for you, but that could happen. So now we're looking at what actually is Lucid Motors. We're looking at their website. It looks pretty cool. It shows here that their $69,000 car is gonna be their cheapest option. If you don't know, Lucid Motors is trying to hit the higher end of the luxury electric vehicle market. And if we go here, I'll show you guys right now that these are all the models that they will have, but currently they're only going to do that one. It's going to be the Air Dream Edition, as I'm pointing out right here. It's going to be $161,000, which is a huge price tag. That's a lot. But the reasoning behind why they're going after the luxury space is because they want to get more investors' money. They want to see, hey, this is going to be a very good product. We're going to see some big profit margins on this. We're going to sell a lot of these, and this is a big deal. So give us your money, please, and we're going to give you $2 quadrillion in return. So that's the idea. That's the thought process that I think that they're taking. It makes sense. Elon Musk kind of does something similar where, you know, he hypes up a bunch of stuff, he releases a bunch of stuff, and I don't doubt that he will deliver eventually on all these things. But it's like a hype startup company, constantly just giving new products and hyping up the investors, be like, yeah, we're gonna do something crazy, we're gonna make our Tesla float. And if you haven't seen that, Elon Musk literally said that. He's like, we're gonna try to make Teslas float instead of have wheels. But that's another topic, that's another thing of discussion. But yeah, so just going back to the price, right? It's at $52 right now. I do not doubt that this will close above 60 sometime this week, because as that deal does confirm, when that deal does confirm, and like I said, going back to that valuation, that number, whether it's 12 or $15 billion, whatever it is, will have an effect on the CCIV's price. Because if we see right here, I'll just change it to the 5 days, we can see that it hit a big high of 63 from the beginning of the month, which was at 35. It literally almost doubled. And you don't really see stocks doubling that much. I mean, more recently you have because the market has been crazy, but as a typical investor, you don't really see that in a normal market. So you have to take advantage of these things while the market is in a bull market. You know, it's very speculative, it is risky, but if you would have done that and you would have held until like around the 60s, you would have essentially almost doubled your money. So my possible plays for this week, not financial advice by the way, this is definitely not financial advice, don't want to get sued by anyone, but my potential plays looking at is that people can go through it a couple of these ways. Obviously first would be just to buy the shares, and if you're a long-term holder, this will definitely, I think, will be good in the long run. Maybe could be a Tesla competitor, but we're not here to speculate that. It's just, you know, it's another EV company competing in that EV space. So do what you will with that information. So if you are willing to be a long-term investor, by all means, go ahead, go and do that. But for me personally, you know, I'm trying to grow my account quicker. You know, I don't have the time to wait 5 million years, or at least maybe not now. Maybe if I have another account or extra money, I can hold that until infinity and beyond.
To infinity and beyond.
What I'm trying to do is take advantage of the rumors, take advantage of all the hype, take advantage of all the new investors that are just gonna dump money into the stock, and that's fine. You know, you gotta take advantage of the scenario. So what I could possibly do this week, and these could be my possible moves, is that I could theoretically buy a weekly call, right, that expires at the end of this week, because like we just read, the deal should be announced on Tuesday early this week, should be keyword. So that's why buying that weekly call is a bit more risky, because if it's not on Tuesday or if the news is bad, it could just tank and I lose my money, and you know the rest. Number two is that I buy call options for around August, because something that I didn't cover and something that's not listed in this report is that Lucid Motors is expected to drop their first batch of vehicles before the end of Q2 2021. And if you don't know, that's around June. So if you buy around August calls, if you buy it around there, then you can reap the benefits of them dropping good quarter earnings, or a positive, more better quarter earnings than their previous results. And you could also take advantage of the hype and all the news of them delivering their first cars and etc. So that could be a possible play as well. And then the third one is a longer term play, but not as long as the first option, just buying shares, forgetting about it, and then becoming rich when you're like 40 or something. Buy calls within that year to 2 year range, which would be around January 2022 or January 2023, depending on how much money you have, depending on how far out you want to go. You can leverage those options because if you're not knowledgeable about options effectively let you leverage your money, because each options contract is worth 100 shares. So instead of buying 100 shares of CCIV at $52, you know, which would be $5,300, you could potentially buy that at a lower or a higher price depending on the premium, and then reap the benefits of buying it. For example, let's say if I buy a call option for $60 CCIV up until January 2023, if Lucid Motors and FCCIV, right, it's worth, let's say, $100 in 2023, then you effectively have doubled your money and some. So that's my thought process. I don't know if that all made sense for you guys, and if it didn't, make sure you drop a comment. I can explain some more if you guys want. And if you have tips for these videos, you know, this is one of my first actual analysis videos, and I'm just sharing my thought process with you guys. It's not the most technical, not the most in-depth, but this is kind of what I'm thinking. And if you have any comments, make sure to let me know what you think. If I'm stupid, this doesn't make sense, let me know. You can roast me in the comments. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. It would really help out my channel a lot. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys found this video informational and entertaining. I'll see you guys next time, and peace.
Hold up.
Guys, if you don't know, Webull will be giving you 2 free stocks when you sign up and deposit your first $100.
Perfect.
With any of these stocks being valued up to $1,400. If you're not signed up already, make sure to use my link down in the description. Also, you'll get $10 worth of Bitcoin on Coinbase when you buy or sell your first $100 worth of Bitcoin. Link is also down in the description.